Hi, it's Michelle Talley of Kid to Kid in Tonawanda. Well, I'd like to introduce Misty Hofert and Mila, her little daughter Mila, lovely little Mila. We are here today to show you how to wear a baby in a sling or a wrap. So Misty is an expert at baby wearing, so I wanted to introduce you to her today. Misty has a beautiful Instagram page called Winging Motherhood. She also writes a blog. So can you tell me a little bit about it?
Sure. So when I became a mom, obviously I turned to the internet for a lot of things. Google has an answer for everything. So I found a lot of support through there. I started following a few blogs, and I really, I liked what I saw, and I realized, when I was trying to figure out the name, I was brainstorming for days, and, it really came down to, as moms, we're all just winging it. So it was like a light bulb went off, and that's kind of how it started.
Misty, if you would demonstrate how you put the baby in a ring sling and how comfortable that is for you and for her.
This has been one of the easiest ways I found because I have an older daughter as well. So in order to chase her and have two hands available, keeping a baby nearby has been really a lifesaver as a mom of two. So often I find myself already holding her. In a place like this, you don't always have a place to set them down. She's maybe in the car seat, you find yourself out shopping, she gets fussy, wants to be held. So it's actually not that difficult. I always keep my ring, my sling pre-threaded, so that way it's, kind of grab and go. So the first thing you do when you have a ring sling is you have to know how to thread it. It's really important to make sure that it's not twisted. So you have your fabric. You want to try to keep it as flat as possible. And when you get to the end, you just bring it through the loops. So bring it through both of them, and then keeping it in the same position, you're just going to come over and under. And then you pull it through like that. So that's what your sling will look like when it's threaded. So you want to make sure the edge and this edge are the same. So these are called your rails. So you have your top rail and your bottom rail, and that'll make a little bit more sense when we show it in action. So to get the baby in the sling, if you're already holding them, that's okay. Sometimes it's easier to have the sling on before you pick them up, but that's not always the case, especially with little ones. So if you're already holding your baby and your sling is pre-threaded like we talked about already, you just want to slip it over the both of you. And the rings here, this is going to be important for positioning. You want to make sure they're up here at the top near your shoulder, just beneath in what's called the corsage position. Think back to your prom days when you had to pin that corsage on. That's right where you're going to want those rings. And then you're going to position your baby. So again, you want their head to be just below your chin. You're not happy about this. Okay. She's mad because she's not in it yet. So you're going to grab the bottom rail from underneath and bring it up in between their legs. That's how you're going to create that seat, and that's what's going to keep them safe. So I always support her head, and I tip her back a little bit to create her seat up there. And you want to make sure your shoulder's in position. Slide the fabric up their back. I bet she'll settle down as soon as we're in place. And then you're going to pull on the top rail to get the top piece in place. And you pull on the bottom rail to really secure them in their seat. And when they're in place, you can always adjust. That's her foot got stuck in there. You're okay. You're okay. There, is that better? What do you think? You're better in this thing. And then you can be totally hands-free. So when you're done, to get them out, it's basically just the same steps but in reverse. So you always want to make sure you're supporting. To loosen the sling, all you have to do is pull up on that top ring, and you're going to see the fabric slide right through. And then what I normally do is just slide it down their back, so that way I can get my hands up under her underarms, pull her up and out.
Fix your budget.